almost 46 years ago now. Richard, you were the first officer on scene. Is that correct?
I don't know if I was the first one there. As you can imagine, things were rather confused, but I was certainly one of the first. And when I went into the building with the fire brigade, I was the only police officer in that area. For all I know, there could have been others. But we went in from the side. We came in, if you like, behind the fire, because it was progressing across the front of the building when I arrived. So we went in from the Manx Electric Railway yard side of it and up what I presume must have been a fire escape, a concrete fire escape inside. And I wasn't told to go in. It's just one of those things that you turn up at an incident, and rather than stand around looking useless, you get stuck in. So I went in with the fire brigade, and they all had breathing apparatus on, of course, and I didn't. So I couldn't stay all that long, but I did what I could, and then got out. But yes, it was not exactly the best way to go into a building for the first time, because I'd never been in Summerland before that, so I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what the layout of the building was or anything.
It touches on something you spoke about a bit in the first hour, about that sort of can-do attitude and the requirement to try and turn your hand to whatever circumstances you're faced with. This being a particularly extreme example, but there's a huge range of pressure, I guess, on.
Yeah, well, as you say, the thing was, in those days it was more embarrassing to stand around and not be involved than it was to do something which, however dangerous it might be, was the lesser of the two evils, really. You quite often went into situations which, when you thought about it later, that really wasn't a good idea. But at the time, you just did it basically to be seen to be doing something rather than nothing.
But I think time. Sorry, John.
So my part in that was, I was living in Onken at the time, up in Ballacurry, and somebody shouted, neighbour shouted, Summerland's on fire. So I went out and could see this pall of smoke, so I was day off actually, and I thought, going to be an emergency call. So I went and got changed quickly. And as I was going out of the close, the car came screaming around the corner, shouting emergency call. I went down to the station, and the station sergeant, I remember, was Archie Corkle at the time, and he said, get the oxygen cylinders over to the fire brigade immediately. So I went to Norwood's Hospital, and the porter couldn't find the key, so we just forced the doors off, got them in, and to cut a long story short, went straight over, delivered them. The then traffic sergeant, the traffic inspector, said to me, get in the car, we've got the tannoy of people up on Strathallan Road up above to get away because it's going to go up. We went down the side, and as we went down the side, it just roared up the side of the building. So we had to shoot round the corner, go up the top, and shout to the people to get off, you know. We went back down, and then the fire brigade said, we want a stretcher, we want a stretcher. Well, David Shimon and myself, the ex-traffic man as well, we took a stretcher, we went to the side, and we were walking up the stairs, and the hot water was flowing down. And then two Peel fire brigade men come down, it's all white boys, we found one. So they went down, and one young lad, I think his name was Harding, had got himself underneath a tap, under the top with a towel round his head, and he saved himself. And they got him out, you know, so that was quite an achievement there. Then they opened up St George's Hall as a mortuary, and from then on we were just ferrying bodies over. It was a terrible, we had 12-hour shifts for a week then, you know. It was an horrendous time. It's something that, like Kevin has said, it's something you'll never forget in your lifetime. Really horrendous, you know.
And I mean, I don't know how you go about answering this question, but how can one possibly be prepared for that sort of a scenario, whether it be psychologically or whether it be in terms of the training you're given? I mean, it seems an impossible task, really. As
Richard said, it's one of those jobs, unfortunately, you have to get on with and deal with, you know, and you just do it. Unfortunately, we didn't in those days have this mental health. You didn't get any help in that way. You just got on with it, and we did, didn't we?
Oh, we did. I mean, in terms of, if you want to call it counselling, I happened to go into St George's Hall one day. I can't remember why, but there were a number of bodies strewn around the place. That's where they sort of collated everything. And there were two sergeants on permanent mortuary attendant duty there. And as it just so happened, the then Chief Constable Frank Whedon came in with a bottle of whiskey for each of these two guys, and that was the counselling and support that they got. as far as I know, nobody else got any support. Certainly the rank and file who were involved, nobody ever came round and said, how are you feeling? Are you coping all right? That didn't happen. Straight after that, he got on with another job, whatever came up next, and that was it.
But I think
I remember one of those sergeants was Sergeant Jimmy Fisher, but I can't remember who the other one was.
Paddy Court.
But that speaks to
Yeah.
the nature of policing, I think, in so much as it's what police officers do.
That's the job.
It's men and women who serve as police officers. They're the ones who run towards danger when really anybody with any sense about them is running the other way.
Yeah.
And that to me is what it is to be a police officer. And that's what duty is all about. It is stepping up and putting yourself in between whatever the danger is and the members of the public who you have a duty to serve.